Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to your morning cup. I'm your host, Dubby Dubois. Today is Saturday, April 17th, 2021, the morning of. And we are here for another deluxe. Well, today is a deluxe edition of the cup. I'm going to put 3 in 1. These 3 stories, very intriguing stories, ID channel type-ish. Listen, hey, we're Americans. We like that shit. We like these kind of stories. All 3 of these stories are domestic violence related, and all 3 of them have murder in them, and involve murder. Listen, some of these stories you already heard. I know like at least one of them you guys all heard, especially my local and back in my hometown. 2 of them come out of there. The other story is going to be the one we set it off with. It's going to be coming out of Arizona, and it is kind of related locally in New York too. But regardless, I guarantee you haven't heard all 3 of these stories. We're going to start in Arizona with the news that this week, the daughter and college standout athlete of Jet great receiver Al Toon was murdered. His daughter Molly Toon was murdered in an apparent murder-suicide by, of course, yes, her husband. So, let that be better, me show it to you than I tell you. So let's get to it.
Over the weekend, a mother, friend, and former athlete shot and killed her son, now without either parent. ABC 15's Nicole Grigg learns more about who she was and why advocates believe this is likely a situation of domestic violence.
Molly Lillard was her married name, but known to most by her maiden name as Molly Toon.
I was just having so much fun, and I think that comes from the team.
That was Toon in 2012 while playing for the Michigan Wolverines, a stand-up volleyball star on the court, and she's the daughter of New York Jets legend Al Toon. Tragically, over the weekend, police taped taking over a Scottsdale neighborhood
April
from an
13th, she
apparent
was murdered.
Suicide. Police say Toon was found in front of the house with gunshot wounds. Her husband barricaded himself inside the home before authorities finding him dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police not releasing any more details or why.
Usually women in abuse situations are very isolated. They don't reach out.
It's unclear what was happening inside the home, but domestic violence advocates with Hope Women's Center say isolation this past year has led to an increase of help calls. Another nonprofit
people losing their
tracking
mind,
domestic violence deaths each
people
year.
bugging out. A lot of people
Men
brains
and
deteriorating.
women. The Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence finding in 2019 there were 96 deaths. In 2020, that number went up to 102 deaths. And as of March 31st, there have been 20 deaths this year.
Any woman can walk into any of our 5 locations and come in, and because ours does not specify that we're domestic violence, then it's just a women's center, and so women, it's not often a red flag for the abuser. So she can come in, and then as soon as she's here, we're able to give her resources. We can get her to safe shelter. We can help her make a safety plan. We do a lot of safety planning with women.
Sadly, the death of Toon is impacting multiple communities, from Wisconsin to her family here in Arizona and where she played in Michigan. Her former volleyball team writing, "We are extremely heartbroken and at a loss for words at this moment." Reporting in Phoenix, Nicole Grigg, ABC 15, Arizona.
And there are resources out there if you or someone you know needs help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, we put that one here on your screen, 1-800-799-7233. There is also an online chat option. You can do that from your phone at thehotline.org, both online and on the phone, offering free confidential help 24/7.
I find it interesting, guys, with Molly Toon's murder. Rest in peace, Molly. It's a disgrace, women beaters, all them motherfuckers, the pieces of trash, all that, whatever. Okay, so like, they just told you about Molly, which is great. They didn't want to glorify her husband, the suspect, but they didn't even show you a picture of him. I saw a picture of him, and I kind of fucked up because I didn't get a picture up here on my slideshow for you guys. He's a white dude beating the shit out of Molly for a long time. And he decided to take his own life after he killed her. And I just find it interesting. It was very vague. They didn't say anything about it. It was an ABC story. It was a very thorough video as far as what happened to Molly and domestic violence and all that, but they shied away from demonizing that man, and he should have been demonized. And we've seen people demonized for less, and most times it's been people of color. So I just had to add that. You know, Molly's husband was a white dude, and they didn't show you his killer ass. They didn't even show you a picture of that piece of shit. Rest in peace, Molly Toon. You know, condolences to the Toon family. You know, Al Toon, standout receiver. He retired early from the Jets. He's probably the greatest Jet receiver of all time. He had concussion syndromes. He's one of the first concussion guys. He came back in 2004. He didn't come back to the NFL, but he bounced back all the way from his concussion syndrome to compete in a triathlon in 2004. So, you know, born in 1963, Al Toon. He's gonna be 60 years old in a couple of years. He had his son Nick. He has a son Nick. His son Nick played for the Saints, 4th round pick in the 2012 draft. He played 4 years in the NFL, and then he had 3 daughters. All of them played college volleyball. All of them doing their thing somewhere in the world. You know, different companies. And you know, Molly was living out in Arizona until her life was taken. She survived by her daughter. Wow. All right. Rest in peace, Molly Toon. Okay. Our next video. More domestic violence. This time you're flipping the script. The savage abuser is a woman this time. Murder for hire plot in New York City by an NYPD officer. And this is a story this is an update because she was caught a while ago. Here's an update. What happened to her, punishment, blah, 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 blah. Let's go to the videotape. Let's go.
Former NYPD officer.
I feel good today. I feel excited.
Today. It's obstruction of justice.
Much love to everybody out there.
Case on Long Island. Valerie Cincinnati is accused of plotting to kill her estranged husband as well as the daughter of her new boyfriend. Prosecutors say the plot never materialized because the boyfriend she thought was going to hire a hitman contacted the police instead. The feds say now that Cincinnati is pleading guilty to deleting messages related to the plot, they will dismiss the murder for hire charges.
What?
Cincinnati faces up to 60 months in prison when she is sentenced in October.
You know, that's interesting. I found this video interesting as hell. It's a 40-second video. They told you what happened to her. She pleaded guilty pretty much to obstruction of the evidence, and then they dropped the murder for hire plot. Yo, back-to-back story. We got privilege, right? The husband, the killer white husband. They don't show you his face. And now Officer Tonelli, she's a savage. She's gonna kill her ex, and she's gonna kill her ex's daughter. Or was it the new boyfriend's daughter? I don't know. But she wanted to kill a teenager. She is a psychopath, sociopath, narcissistic. Somebody told me, oh, don't call me. That's what the bitch is. Fuck. Okay. I want to read this article that's related to this story, and the reason I'm reading the article because the video didn't do the real story justice, and I want to share this part with you guys. Okay? A former NYPD officer pleaded guilty Friday to an obstruction. Charge stemming from the murder for hire plot to kill her estranged husband and her boyfriend's teenage daughter. Valerie Cincinnati paid her one-time boyfriend Dubby Dubois $7,000 to hire a hitman to kill estranged husband Isaiah Carvalho amid a bitter divorce and custody battle over their son. Dubois went to the authorities when Cincinnati wanted to include Dubois' 15-year-old daughter in the plot. Damn, so she told him, yeah, kill your daughter too? Is she crazy? Does she think her pussy's like this magic potion? Like, what is she, nuts? At first when I read this, I thought she should kill my ex-husband and his daughter. Fuck my little stepdaughter brat, you know what I mean? Cool. But she wanted Dubois to kill his own daughter alone. Like, what? Can't be serious. I deleted images on an iPhone with the intent to obstruct the federal grand jury investigation to the murder for hire. Cincinnati said during the plea hearing. I knew what I did was wrong, Your Honor. And I'm truly sorry, Your Honor. Had the case gone to trial, federal prosecutors said they would have introduced evidence that included audio and video recordings in which Cincinnati was overheard discussing the plot and alibi. During the virtual hearing, Cincinnati, who has been in custody since her arrest in 2019, broke down wailing. For 2 years, I haven't seen my son! Ah! Sociopath shit. You're gonna try to, that's what they do. They try to victimize themselves after what they did was wrong. Now she's the one being wrong. My son! Fuck you, bitch. Give me a break, man. This is crazy right here. Federal prosecutors agreed to not ask for more than 60 months behind bars when she was sentenced on October 29th. Cincinnati, 36 years old, resigned from the NYPD after a 12-year career. She had been assigned to the Video Interactive Patrol Enhanced Response, or VIPER unit, whose members monitor security cameras at city housing projects. The unit is largely made up of officers on modified duty due to other infractions. Authorities said Cincinnati had prior domestic incidents involving the boyfriend and her ex-husband that led her being assigned to that unit. Before that, she was assigned to the 106th Precinct in Queens. Officer Cincinnati, the former officer, piece of shit. Yo, can you believe that, though? They dropped the murder for hire charges on her. And, they put her in this unit because she was abusive, yo. She fights with everybody. When you always have problems with people, she had problems with the ex-boyfriend, the husband. She had problems in the department with coworkers. Problems. Oh, but you ask her, she'll tell you it's everyone else's fault. But guess who the common denominator is? It's that bitch. She reminded me of a former friend of mine. Yo, yo, let's get it. Yo. And, once again, though, that time that they just, they let her get away with because she's a cop. She's only going to do 5 years. 5 years. And that's just for deleting text messages. That's her crime. So she will be a productive member of society once again, right? And before we get the coffee, before we get our drink or whatever's in your cup this Saturday, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, guys, I worked out today. 3 miles. I did my 3-mile run. No huffing and puffing. Let's get it. Let's inspire each other. And while we're at it, you guys like the video, hit the notification bell. Hit the all button so you can get the videos as soon as I drop them, because I don't want too much time to go by and then the story gets stale. You want to get right to the story. You know what I'm saying? So, show love on that tip. It's the Brooklyn way and it's the USA way. Let's show some love. Love. That's a lie. But it rhymed. Okay. The last story comes out of the Bronx, come out of City Island. This is the story that I think a lot of people saw because it sounded so crazy. So I'm just going to play the video before we get out of here.
Co-worker. This construction site where she'd been working for about a year.
Here we go.
This construction site where she'd been working for about a year. You can see her co-workers holding an impromptu vigil this morning as they pray over the site where
woman killed at Bronx construction site. Boyfriend beats the shit out of suspect.
Afternoon, they laid a wreath here this morning along with her helmet and construction vest. But clearly, very sad moments for these workers this morning as they are coming to grips with the loss of one of their own on the job. Just tragic here. This all played out during the lunch hour yesterday at the corner of City Island Road and City Island Avenue as the victim's crew was replacing a water main. Witnesses told police the gunman rode up here on a blue bike and brought her some food, then opened fire on the 52-year-old Brooklyn woman after they got into an argument. She has been identified by police as Lisbeth Mass. That's when her boyfriend happened to witness what happened. He angrily chased after the gunman, his car, then running over him at this intersection. Then the boyfriend beat him while down on the ground until police got here. This morning, her co-workers back on the job clearly with heavy hearts.
Crazy.
It's kind of tough. It's hard to miss a co-worker, and it's just unbelievable that it happened. First I thought it was the shots from the other side, but it seemed mighty close, so I went to look.
And what did you see?
Like I said, when I got there, she was already on the ground, and the guy had been already run over.
And back at the town square right here, some clearly difficult moments and tragedy striking very close to the hearts